हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज हम रीड कर रहे हैं दोबारा साउंड चैप्टर 10 साइंस। दिस इज पार्ट नंबर 2। लेट्स रीड। हैमर, एनविल एंड स्ट्रिप, bracket manus, inclus and steps, bracket. The three bones of the middle ear, namely hammer, anvil and strip, are also called malleus, inclus and steps, and are attached to the eardrum. When the vibrations of the eardrum strikes, when they are all vibrate one after the other, and eventually they pass the waves of the inner ear labyrinth. The innermost portion of the ear is filled with a water-like substance and consists of both hearing and balancing organs, and has and it has the cochlea, which is a spiral tube. It is a rolled structure, and the lining of cholera consists of numerous nerve cells. These hair-like nerves called respond to various frequencies of vibration and ultimately generate electrical impulses. The cholera is attached to semicircular canal which are filled with fluid. They help in maintaining the balance of the body. The inner ear is connected to nerve called auditorio nerve, which passes on the electrical impulses generated by the nerve cells to the brain. Reflection and absorption of sound. Sound can be reflected or absorbed. If you utter a sound in an empty room, what do you experience? You will hear the sound again and again. This repeating of sound is due to reflection of sound by the surface of the walls, just as a ball bounces on a wall. The sound waves too bounces of this repeated sound that you hear is called echo. Sometimes some materials absorb sound. Thick carpets, curtains, etc. absorbs sound. In an auditorium, you may have noticed that the curtains, carpets, etc. are thick. This is to prevent the sunroof from reflection. Soft surface absorb sound much better than hard surface. Human ears can perceive two, two spectrate sounds only if the second sound is received 1 by tenth of the sound second or more after the first sound. The speed of sound is 340 miles second. Hence, distance traveled by sound is 1 by 10 second is to 340 miles second into 1 by 10 second is to 34 miles hence. An echo can be heard only if you are at distance of minimum 17 miles of a wall. Mechanism of hearing. How do we hear? Sound waves to vibration energy to ear pinna to external audio matures outer ear. This is outer ears. Vibration of the eardrum. Then ear oscillus vibrate and oscillates. Malus to inclus to steps Ocula receives this vibration from the middle ear. The ocula sensory cells convert them into electrical signals, nerve impulses. Auditory nerve receives these electrical signals, passes this signal to the brain. Brain interprets the specific sound hearing. Musical instruments. Depending on the vibrating body, musical instruments are classified into three types. First, membranes instrument. These are instruments in which vibration are produced by the stressed skin. For example, tabla, drum, mridangam, gatam, and mud post. Second, string instrument. These are instruments in which vibration are produced by the stretched strings. Examples are guitar, sitar, violin, sar- sarod, and veena. Third, wind instrument. These are instruments in which vibration are produced by the air columns. Example are flute, shanai, and clarinet and jaltang. In some, wind is blown through reed. Such instruments are called reed instruments. Example are harmonium, mouth organ, and nadaswarm. Noise and music. We hear different types of sound from different sources around us. Some of these sounds are pleasant to the ears and some are not. The sound produced by the vehicle on the road, the sound of a quarrel between many peoples, the barking of a dog, and the sound of a supersonic aircraft, etc., are not pleasant to the ears. A sound which does not give pleasing sensation to the ear is known as a noise. Scientifically, a noise is produced by irre- irregular, irregular vibrations. A sound having very pleasant sensation on the ears is known as music. Scientifically, a musical sound is produced by regular vibration. The prong of the tuning fork or the string of sitar produce a musical sound as they vibrate at regular intervals. Noise pollution. The disturbance produced in the environment by the undesirable, loud, and harsh sounds from the various sources is called noise pollution. The noise pollution at a particular place is determined by the following. First, loudness of the sound. Second, duration of noise at a particular place. Source of noise. Noise in homes. The source of noise in homes are television, radio, power, music system, washing machine, desert cooler, mixer grinder, vacuum cleaner, telephone, typewriter, and air conditioner. Noise in surrounding. The causes of noises surrounding are loudspeakers used in marriage and religious places, exploding crackers on various functions, hawkers in the street, publicists, announcements made by tradi- trading companies, noise produced in the construction of houses, etc. Noise in factories. All factories, big or small, use machines which invariably produces noise and hence contribute to the noise pollution. Noise due to transportation. This noise is produced by railways, trains, all kind of petrol and diesel vehicle, airplane and pressure horns. used in the automobiles. Harmful effect of noise pollution. Noise is the surrounding interferes with our conversation with other persons. First, a long exposure to noise pollution may result in the loss of hearing or even deafness. Second, noise pollution reduces concentration and hence contributes toward the loss of work efficiency. Third, noise causes anger, tension, and interfaces with our sleep pattern. Prevention and control of noise. We cannot eliminate noise, but we can lower its level to a bearable limit by taking some measures. First, the machine should be designed in such a way that they make minimum noise. Second, all automobile electric generators etc. should be provided with silencers. Third, heavy vehicles should not be allowed to residential areas. Fourth, the use of loudspeakers for various social and religious functions should be banned. Fifth, the factories should be relocated far away from the residential areas. Sixth, at homes, the TV, the radio, the music player should be played at low volume. Subject integration. Sailors use sonar to detect submerged objects such as submarines and mines. The modern submarines, which are designed to detect the enemy submarines, this is tracking to defense object with the help of the loud sound and vibrations with a specific wavelength. The frequency the received single signals are studied further to detect any enemy defense object. In journal or radio waves, radar are used to detect any kind of defense objects. Skills and values. Sound plays an essential role in our daily activities. The study of sound informs to the student of the nature, space, objects, and action. It also helps to understand the sound. Waves are helpful in medicine, ultrasound waves in bracket, and defense navigations, etc. Memory map. Sound. Music, human ear, noise, characteristic of sound, develop, Doppler effect. Properties of sound, types of sound, noise. Properties of sound, amplitude, frequency, time period. Characteristics of sound, loudness, pitch, timbre. Types of sound, audible sound, inaudible sound. Human ear, outer ear, inner ear, middle ear. Eardrum, hammer, aneque, streak up. Noise. Noise pollution, noise in homes, noise in surroundings, sound noise in factories, noise due to transportation. So let's read next chapter 11, chemical effects of electric current. Learning objectives, electricity. Second, chemical effect of electric current. Third, electrolysis. Fourth, electroplating. Fifth, different use of electroplating. Quick review. Sorry. We need electricity for many purposes to make our life easier. Charge particles. Electricity is the flow of electrical charge. Matter is made of atom, and atom contains positively charged particles called protons and negatively charged particles called electrons. The protons remain fixed in their position within the nucleus in the center of the atom, but the electrons are free to move in a normal circumstance. The number of positively charged, the negatively charged particles in a substance remains the same and hence the total charge on the substance is zero. But when two substances are rubbed against each other, electrons get transferred from one substance to other. The substances are then said to be charged, as one will have more electrons and the other will have less electrons. When these electrons are made to flow from one end to another, from the terminal of a battery or cell to another, they cause electric current. Conduction of electricity. Those substances which allow electricity to pass through them are called good conductors, such as silver, gold, acidic solution, salt, and solution, etc. Those substances which do not allow electric current to pass through them are called insulators, such as plastic and rubber, etc. If they allow very less amount of electricity to pass through them, they are called bad conductors. In fact, most of the substances allows electric current to pass through them. Under curtain conduction of insulated of using terms condition conductors and insulators. Good conductor and bad conductors are used. Conductors: aluminium, steel, gold. Insulators: wood, plastic, rubber. Conductivity of liquid. What happens when an electric current is made to pass through a liquid? Some liquids are good conductors, such as solution in acids, bases, and salts. However, some are bad conductors, such as sugar solution or pure distilled, distilled water. Is current passed if current is passed through a liquid which is a good conductor, it breaks down the liquid into the chemical components. Thus, electrical current can be bring about chemical change. The conducting liquid is also called electrolytes. Activity 1. To test whatever a liquid allows electric current to pass through it or not, we can use a battery. When the liquid between the two ends of the battery allows the electric current to pass, the circuit becomes complete. Observe the two setups in the diagram below. Breaker A and B have got different liquids. In which setup is the circuit complete? You guessed it right. It is a since the bulb is glowing in the circuit, but it also means that the liquid in beaker can conduct electricity and the one in beaker B cannot, and hence the bulb doesn't glow in the last case. When the liquid does not allow the electric current to pass, the bulb does not glow. In some situations, even though the liquid is conducting, the bulb may not glow. This is because if the current through a circuit is too weak, the filament does not get heated sufficiently and it does not glow. Through a material may conduct electricity, it may not conduct it as easily as a metal. As a result, the circuit may be complete and yet the current through it may be too weak to make the bulb glow. Light emitted diode, diode, short form LED. We can use LED bulbs inserted of electric bulb. LED glows even when a small cir- circuit current flow through it. There are two wires called leads attached to LED. One lead is slightly longer than the other. The longer one is connected to the positive of the battery and the shorter lead is connected to the negative terminal of battery. Electrolysis, the process in which an electric breaks electric electrolytes break down into its components, which when current is passed through it is called electrolysis. For example, when current is passed through water which has a little acid added to it, it breaks down into its components hydrogen and oxygen. In electrolysis, the chemical compound in a solution from form decomposes when an electric current passes through the compound decomposes into positively charged and negatively charged particles called ions, and this conduct electricity in an electrolyte solution. The positively charged ions are called cations, while the negatively charged are called anions. The cation and anions help in conducting charge. For electrolysis, two metallic terminals called electrolytes are set up. They are inserted in the solution and are connected to the terminals of a battery with a switch in between the electrode electrode that is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is called the anode, and the other connected to the negative terminal is called the cathode. When the circuit is completed, the electric current is passed. The caution which are positively charged get attached to the negatively charged cathode and move toward it. On the other hand, anions being negatively charged get attracted toward the positively charged anode and move toward it. This is how ions move in an electrolyte and thus conduct electric current. A chemical reaction takes place at the electrodes. Consider electrolysis of water. Water decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. As a result of this reaction, we may observe bubbles at the electrodes. Due to production of gases, the hydrogen gas collects at the cathode, while the oxygen collects at anode. The electrical neutrality of the electrolyte solution. The electrical neutrality of the electrolyte solution remains unchanged during electrolysis, since the number of electrons extracted from the cathode is equal to the number of electrons supplied at the cathode. Electrolysis is useful in several applications, and the most important one is electroplating is a process of coating one metal with another using an electric current. Electroplating is a chemical process in which a metal is coated with a layer of another desired metal. It is done to make the metal shiny or to protect it for instance. Iron is Iron is electroplated with chromium to preserve it from rusting and to make it shiny. In this process, an electrolyte is taken through which current passes. Two electrodes are inserted in the electrolyte and are connected to the terminal of a battery with a switch in between. between the metal to be used for coating is cause, chosen as the anode and the object to be electroplated is chosen as the cathode. The electrolyte is a salt of the anodic metal which gets decomposed into its respective ions. Let us supposed suppose that a metal key has to be plated with copper, then the key will be in the cathode terminal and a strip of copper wire will be the anode. Acidity filled copper sulfur will be the electrode. The entire setup for electroplating will be as shown. On the passing of electric current through the copper sulfate solution which decomposes into copper and sulfate ions, copper ions cation which are positively charged moves towards the cathode and deposits on the key. The copper at anode slowly dissolves into the solution. The sulfate ions do not take part in this reaction. The metal atoms are deposited at cathode, so the mass of the cathode increases and the mass of the anode decreases by an equal amount. Thus, the copper gets transferred from anode to cathode during electroplating. Electroplating is also done to cover metals with silver or nickel. Electrolysis is also used in refining and extraction of pure metals from improved samples. This process is called electrorefining. Use of electroplating. First, water pipes which are made of iron are coated with a layer of zinc metal by the process of galvanizing. Zinc is more reactive than iron and thus prevents the iron pipe from getting rusted by forming a hard protective layer over iron after reacting with air water. Second, ornaments made of silver or other cheap metals are electroplated with gold to give them appearance like gold. Third, tin tin cans used for shorting food are made of iron sheets plated with a coat of tin. Tin is less reactive than iron and prevent foods packed in them from getting spoiled. Fourth, electroplating is done in industries where an anti-reactive coating is given on the parts of mechanics so that they do not react with the raw material and to have a heat resistive coating for parts like boilers to reset the heat produced by the machinery machinery. Fifth, chromium plating is done to on bathtubs, car bumpers, bicycle handlebars, to towel, rail, etc. Chromium does not corrode. It all can be polished to give a bright, attractive appearance, and it is a hard metal which resists stretches and wear and tear. 6. Cutlery and jewelry items are often silver plated since they have the appearance of silver but are much less expensive. Real life content. Take some material like lemon, tap water, vinegar, alcohol, distilled water to filled which good conductor or a poor conductor of electricity. Subject integration. Contrary of popular belief, Benjamin Franklin did not invent electricity through his renowned kite flying experiment in 1752. Electricity was not actually discovered, as it has also always excited as a natural phenomenon in the form of lightning or when two electrical charged materials are rubbed together. Skill and value. Study of this chapter promotes understanding of basic chemistry, and it develops positive scientific attitude towards the improvement of quality of human life. Fascinating fact. First, silver plated item may have EPNL stamped on them. This stands for electroplated nickel silver. Second, the arrangement, which consists of an electrolyte in liquid form, either solution or molten form, two electrodes, which are cathode and anode, and a source of electric current is called electrolyte cell. The electrolyte cell convert electric energy into chemical energy. Memory map. Energy: magnetic energy, heat energy, light energy. Elect- effects of chemical effects of electric current. Conductors: good conductor, bad conductor. Good conductor: metals, liquids. Bad conductor: non-metals, distilled water. Effect of electricity: chemical effect, heating effect. Current pass Chemical effect: current pass through liquids. Heating effect: filament of bulb get heated. Electroplating: electrode connected to positive terminals. Examples: electrode connected to negative terminals. Cathode: examples: iron thin jewelry. Electrode connected to positive terminals. Anode: jewelry. Example: jewelry. Electroposing with silver in or gold. Tin: prevent spills of food. Iron: used in brides, automobiles. Key points: electric current. It is the flow of electrical charge. Electrolysis: when electric current passes through a conducting solution, it causes chemical reaction by decomposing the electrolytes. This is called electrolysis. Electroplating: it is a process in which coating of one metal is done over another by passing an electric current through an electrolyte. Fourth, electrorifling: the process of riffling and extracting of pure metal from improved samples by electrolysis is called electrorifling. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, so like the video or subscribe.